Students, welcome to our video lecture. In the last lecture, I think we completed section C and we have started section D. Okay, students. Now, we have already started section D. The first 6 questions of section D are theoretical, students, and all the questions we have discussed in detail. The first question was merit and limitation of fixed base method, then chain base method, differentiate fixed base and chain base method, then the meaning of cost of living index number, and state the points, state the uses and limitations of cost of living index number. That students I have discussed. So I advise you to write the first 6 questions very perfectly, students, and these 6 questions, out of which one can be always asked in board examination. Now, students, I am starting with the 7th sum of section D. The question reads as: the price of 3 items among 5 fuel items increased by 50%, 90%, 110% in the year 15 as compared to the base rate. So, for 3 items there is increase in price, and for the remaining 2 items there is decrease in price. Okay, students, so the table to obtain section D, sum number 7. The table to obtain index number is as below. Okay, students, there are 5 fuel items which we name as A, B, C, D, E, and then, students, we will take total. Now, the next column I make is of index number, then weights, and then IW. Price of 3 items, say A, B, C, increased by 50%. So the index number is 100 plus 50, and that is 150, 90%. So 100 plus 90 is equal to 190 and 110%. So 100 plus 110, which is 210. Then the price of other 2 items, students, decreased by 5% and 2%. So 100 minus 5, this is 95, and 100 minus 2, which is 98. The weights are in the proportion 5, 4, 3 is to 1, so I write it as 5x, 4x, 3x, twice x, and x. And if I total the weights, 9 and 3, 12 and 3, 15, so this is 15x. Now, let us go for IW, 150 into 5, so 750 x. Then 19 fours are 76, 21 threes are 630, 95 twos are 190x, and 98x. Total of IW is how much? 2428x. So index number, using the formula of weight, sigma IW upon sigma W, 2428x divided by 15x. This index number comes out to be, students, 161.87. Definitely this x and x gets cancelled. So final answer, students, we can write that the index number for fuel for the current year 2015, students, is 161.87. So I think, students, this completes our section B. Section E, students, we have already completed. And now we go for the remaining sums of students section F. Section F also first 4 sums we have completed, 5, 6 and 7 we are doing, students. And the 5th question is one of the most interesting sum of section F. A similar example is also there, that also I will explain. Now compute the index number, sorry, not 5th, I think the 6th question which I was telling is a very important. Now first of all let us do the 5th sum, and 5th sum is to find cost of living index number or simply index number by total expenditure method and family budget method, and we have to again state whether both the index numbers are same or not. I think students we have done this question or not. I think students we have done this question, but okay, no problem. As a revision student, let us do this question once again, no problem students. As a revision, I don't remember exactly, but I think students we have or have not done, no problem. Now the table to obtain sum number 5 section F, the table to obtain index number by total expenditure method and family budget method and family budget method is as below. Now students, in the column of items we write wheat, rice, sugar, oil, pulses and ghee, and of course the last will be totals. Now unit, students, why I am doing, if at all, the sum, if we have done it previously, then also I am doing again. Now students, the smallest unit of quintal is 1 kg, because quintal is 100 kg. So in the answer we write 1 kg. Now 20 kg is the multiple of kg, so for rice also 1 kg, sugar as it is kg, oil also kg, pulses 1 kg, 20 kg is the multiple of, and ghee also 1 kg or a kg means same. Now we are given price of base year which is P0, price of current year P1, base year's quantity which is Q0, so the total expenditure method we use last year's formula. So weight is same as P0, Q0. Okay, then P1, Q0, then index number, and the last column will make is of items. Now let us make this column in order. Let us change this, and this I write as P1, Q0, and this is weight which is P0, Q0. Okay, let us space more I, and then students I W. Okay, now price we have to divide by the unit and write, that I have taught students. So once again you can easily decide and write for P0, 1 quintal is costing 1800, so per kg 18 rupees. Then 20 kg is costing 700, per kg 35. 1 kg is costing 30 rupees, 1 kg is costing 108, 20 kg is costing 2000, per kg 100, 1 kg of ghee is costing 400. P1, 1 quintal is costing 2400, so here 24 rupees. 20 kg is costing 800, per kg definitely 40 rupees, per kg 36 rupees, per kg 120 rupees, per kg again 120 rupees, per kg 480 rupees. Quantity of maize here 100 kg, 40 kg, 40 kg, 60 kg, 40 kg, 36 kg. Okay, now P1Q0. P1Q0. So 2400, then 1600, then 1440, 12 6s are 72, 12 4s are 48, and last 480 into 36 is 17,280. And if I total this, then the total of P1Q0 34,720. Okay, students, P0Q0 1800, 35 4s are, so 1400, then 1200, then 108 into 66480. Then students 4000 and the other is 14,400. And students, the final total of P0Q0 29,280. Index number P1 upon P0 into 100, 24 upon 18 into 100. Students, I am directly showing the answer. 24 upon 18 into 100. So the first index number is 133.33. Then 40 upon 35 into 100, so 114.29. Then 36 upon 30 into 100, so it is 120 exact. Then students, the next index number is 120 upon 108 into 100, 111.11. Then 120 upon 100 into 100, so 20. And 480 upon 400 into 100, so again 120. Total of index numbers we don't require. IW 1800 into 133.33. So 2,39,994. 2,39,994. Then the next total is 1,60,006. Then the next total is 1,44,000. Then students, the next total is 7,19,992. 0.8, 12 4s are 48, 4,80,000. And the last total is 17,28,000. And if I am going to total IW students, the total is 34,71,992. 34,71,992.8. Now first is index number by total expenditure method, and that is I is equal to sigma P1Q0 upon sigma P0Q0 into 100. So 34,720 upon 29,280 into 100, and and this value, students, turns out to be 118.58. Then index number by family budget method is sigma IW upon sigma W, 34,71,992.8 upon 29,280, and this is also the same, because the index number we have to prove that the answer is same by both the methods. Okay, students. So this was the last sum involving the concept of unit, and you have to be very, very punctual and, students, perfect about the concept of unit, because this is going to be the base. This is the base criteria for the chapter. Now, students, the most important sum of section F is sum number 6. I write most important sum of entire section F. The data about index number and weight for the group of items for the living of industrial workers in Ahmedabad city in the years 14 and 15 are as follows. Find the cost of living index number of industrial workers. This is part 1 of the sum. So I am giving the title part 1. Sum has 2 parts. So the part 1, we have to obtain cost of living index number. So we write the table to obtain cost of living index number is as below. Okay, students. Now we note down the different groups. Which are the different groups? Food, fuel and electricity, housing means house rent, then clothing, then miscellaneous. Okay, and then, students, I am down total. No units are given. Weights index number for 14. So 2014, and I call this as I1. Index number for 15 I call as I2. I1W and I2W we have to obtain. Weights are 31, 14, 22, 10 and 23. Index number for 14 base year 270, 168, 205, 174 and 303. And for 15, the index numbers are 281, 178, 210, 177 and 337. This all totals. As such, we don't need for index numbers. The total of weights is definitely 100. Now, I1W 31 into 270. So it is 8370. Then 14 into 168. So 2352. Then 22 into 205, 4510. This is 1740, and 23 into 303 will be 6969. So the total of I1W comes out to be 23941. 23,941. Okay, I2W 31 into 281, so 8711. then 14 into 178, so 2492. Then 22 into 210, so 4620. Then 177 into 10, so 1770. And 23 into 337, so 7751. And if I total this, then sigma I2W comes out to be 25,344. Okay, students, now cost of living index number for 2014 will be sigma I1W upon sigma W 23941 divided by 100. So this comes out to be 239.41. Now I am finding cost of living index number for 15. And this comes out to be sigma I2W upon sigma W 25,344 divided by 100. This comes out to be 253.44. Now I told you this sum has two parts. Part 2 is pending, which we are doing now. And this is the most important part of the sum. That is why, students, I am highlighting this. That is why, students, I am highlighting this. Now, first of all, I read the second part of the question. If the wages of the workers are increased by 5% in the year 15, then is this rise sufficient to compensate the rise in price in the year 2015? Now, an example, similar example, 19, one of the interesting question. Now, what is the rise, say, students, example 19, I am explaining. Same type of question. The data referring to worker class of a city are as follows. Find the general index number for the year 2014 and 15. And if the wages of the worker in 14 are increased by 5% in the year 15, is this rise in wage sufficient to maintain their standard of living? So there also, students, the same years are given. For 14, the index number is 210.6, and for 15, the index number is 225.5. So the absolute increase in index number is 14.8. I am talking about example 19. Now what they have done, students, the percentage increase in the cost of living index number for the year 15 is how much, and then they have told that whether this is sufficient to maintain the standard of living or not. So what will do, the absolute increase in cost of living is how much? Then, students, the answer is 14.03%. So here, increasing cost of living index number is how much? 253.44 minus 239.41. So this is 14.03%. This is our first part. Okay. Now in our question also, students, what they have given, that once again I am reading the question. If the rise of wage, if the wage of workers is increased by 5% in the year 15, is this rise sufficient to compensate the rise in price? So what we do? When 14's index number I take as, you can say 100%, then 14.03% is how much? Students, I am here. 239.41, which is the index number of base year, is 100%. Then 14.03 is how many percent? So we get 14.03 into 100 divided by 239.41, and this comes out to be 5.86%. Now students, why I am re-emphasizing on this sum? You have to be very careful. Now part 2 is only interesting and difficult. Part 1, students, is very simple. Part 2 only I am telling students that is very interesting and difficult. Now what we have done? 14 is the base year. That index number I have taken as 100%. Then increasing cost of living in 15 is 14.03%. So if 239.41 is 100%, then 14.03 is how much percent? The answer is 5.86%. So price in the current year, 2015, have increased by 5.86% compared to the base year. So if a worker is given a wage rise of 5%, that is not sufficient to compensate the increase in price, because wages are increasing by 5%, whereas students, the price have increased by 5.86% in the current year compared to the year which is base year. So this, students, we have to perfectly understand. So the cost of living has increased by 5.86%. Prices have increased by 5.86%. Whereas the rising wage of the worker is only 5%. So still it is less. So 5% rise in wage is not sufficient to compensate the price rise or to compensate the same standard of living. So in R2, what we need to write? I am not writing the final statement. The rise in wage is 5%, whereas the rise in cost of living index number is 5.86%. So 5% rise in wage is not sufficient to compensate the rise in price, or the other way, it is not sufficient to compensate the rise in standard of living. Means they will not be able to maintain the same standard of living. That's what we have to understand. So now, students, pay attention. Question number 7, 8, 9 and 10. 4 questions are remaining, and I think those 4 questions we will be doing in our last lecture. So now, students, we are left with only 4 questions to complete the chapter. So students, this is a long chapter. I took some 16 or 17 lectures to complete the chapter. 1 or 2 lectures I have parted, students. Please study this very well so that we can immediately start part 2 after completing this chapter, and you can say this exercise. Thank you, students.